The Weber Cup is in its final day. The pressure is building. The finishing line is within sight. The Europeans are chasing the magic number of 19 points. The Americans are struggling to keep up. Will this session see the fortunes reversed, or will Team Europe push home their advantage? Welcome to day 3 of the Weber Cup. The format is simple enough. The magic number here at the Weber Cup is 19. It's the first team to reach that target that claims the trophy. 1 point per match, with the matches consisting of singles, doubles and a baker. A team match involving all 8 players. As for the scoring, it's been simplified. The matches are played over 10 frames. There's no extra shot in the 10th. A strike is worth 30, and of course the magical score still remains the 300 game. Europe have been chasing this tournament from day 1. The Americans claimed the opening 2 matches and set the tone. It was left to Jesper Svensson to save the day. He responded with points that kept his team in touch, helped by Barrett winning in the final match of the session. Day 2 showed a closer fought contest. Barrett won the opener, and despite the USA winning 3 games on the trot, Europe found a way back in via Stuart Williams, and then through the partnership of Larsson and Svensson. The USA finished with a win and finished 2 points clear of their rivals. The evening session proved a turning point for Europe. The leaderboard dominated by blue. 2 opening wins in the baker, and then by Williams set them on their way. The evening session and the 15th match of this tournament saw all 8 players turn out for the baker match. Europe, in a determined mood, recorded a 2.86 to win comfortably. Williams added another. Tackett hit back for the USA. But it was a temporary reprieve. 3 more points for Europe and a single one for the USA. It left the score at 11-10 to Europe, a notable shift in fortunes. Day 3 arrived, and the suggestion that the USA would come back at the Europeans was delivered by Troup, who beat Dominic Barrett in the opener. But normal service was resumed in match 23 as Barrett and Williams teamed up to beat Troup in Kent. Williams then faced Kent and secured a win that took his team 2 clear. The doubles took centre stage, with Barrett and Larsson making it 3 wins on the trot for Europe. It took a captain's performance in the next, Sean Rash salvaging a point for the Americans, but Europe are edging near the winning mark. And that winning mark is getting ever closer. 2 more points on offer in this session, vital for the Americans and a big boost for the Europeans. There's a lot at stake. The pressure now shifts to Jesper Svensson and Stuart Williams for Europe, and on the other side, EJ Tackett and Troup as they prepare for the next match in the Weber Cup. Time to join our commentary team, Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Yes, it will be very interesting to see exactly how Jesper Svensson bowls today, because he looked like the ace in the pack for Europe on Friday night. But on Saturday, the tall young Swede looked anything but infallible In fact, you could say he had a pretty rough session all the way round. A couple of misses on single pins and just needs to really step it up a bit. Stu Williams, his partner today.
Pitch black stands up.
We know what he can do already. Both in singles and in doubles play. He's been a winner in this session. Can he help Svensson over the line here? Kyle Troup started out brilliantly in terms of singles play. A 279 to open the session. Too good for Don Barrett. And a first look of the day at EJ Tackett as well, who is getting better and better the more he finds his feet in this competition. But the big question mark for me in this match is Svensson. What are we going to get from him?
Well, Nick, I think you're quite right. Yes, the only player out on the left-hand side of the lane is Jesper Svensson. Now, if he can get out there and be on the strike shot and carry strikes, this game could be all over. The other three players obviously playing on the right-hand side, but it's a freshly dressed lane. So there'll be plenty of all around, and it will be carrying down as the players go.
Who starts? Is it commercial?
Yes, but just couldn't carry corner pins, it seemed, yesterday.
I know.
EJ Tackett did not have a great start to his Weber Cup career on Friday night. Got blown out by Jesper, 278, 247. But they've met a couple of times since.
Well, the only other thing, Nick, of course, is if Jesper cannot carry those corner pins, it's Dominic Barrett that's got to spare them. So he won't be worrying too much, but he would still like the strikes. And assuming these guys are mic'd up, it'll be interesting to hear what they say with one another.
Yeah, Jesper and EJ played each other twice in one session yesterday. They shared it.
Let's go.
But both of them really struggled at times as well.
Afro's still there. We're in business.
Yeah, the hair's still looking good.
Your biggest fan?
For Kyle Troup.
Yeah.
Everybody else uses a hairdresser. Kyle gets a hedge trimmer out. Now then, let's see what we're going to get from this fella. Just remember, it seemed single pin in the corner left time and time again yesterday, but that's gone. It's a whole new day today, and Svensson will take his time. The lefty, who, like Kyle Troup, will use a two-handed approach. Certainly taking his time here.
Yeah, I think he was actually letting a couple of members of the audience take their seat before he started. Urethane bowling ball, left-hand side of the lane, brand new oil.
So no excuses.
I don't think he was making any excuses.
No 7-pin that time.
Straight out of the trap.
Well, I don't need to worry about sparing them this time at least.
Well, that's unless I start leaving them for you.
And the first thing Stuart Williams said, no 7-pin this time. He would have been seeing them in his sleep last night, those sevens.
Fabulous shot. Opening strike for the Europeans.
Let's see if young EJ Tackett here, who gets that ball to do so much work from that slight frame of his. Look at those rotations. He's taken 9. It wasn't a particularly good pocket hit either.
No, you're right, Nick. It wasn't, and you know, well, he hasn't got to take the spare, but it was kind of going fishing a little bit, wasn't he, out there on the right-hand side of the lane? It's just a little bit too wide, light on the headpin. Fortunately, gets a few pins to fall down, just to leave the one standing. No. For the two-handed Kyle Troup to spare.
Yeah, Sean Rash, the American captain, will be hoping that Tackett gets in the strike zone soon, because you don't really want this man wasting his skills bowling at single pins. Troup is red hot at this year's Weber Cup, and it is wasting him if he's just bowling spares.
A little twirl. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're quite right, Nick. He was the hottest player last year, and he's been the hottest singles player this year as well.
I think in 5 singles matches, and you've got all the stats. He bowled a 220, Kyle Troup, but everything else has been way up there. I'm talking 270 plus. Big Stuart Williams just about made the pocket and the head pin there. That could have been anything.
At least it's not a 7-pin that Svensson's got to bowl at.
Yeah.
And I say that tongue-in-cheek.
Oh. God, so bad.
Well, it wasn't his best. Nobody would argue that. And as you say, Cass, thank goodness it's not that 7 in the corner. Well, it's single pins for Jesper.
No sweat, he said, no sweat.
Right. Good start there for me. Just the first shot in the doubles is always so hard when it's on fresh. Because you don't know how much you should move from the other shots.
Well, it's all right.
It's a little easier on the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of...
You know you can give it some room.
Kind of encouraging one another there.
Oh, somebody's going to need some encouragement here because Tackett has bowled an absolute stinker.
I got you.
Isn't he an angry young man?
Well, you can I don't know if it's even anger, Cass, it's just frustration. Because when it is doubles and you are not firing, you've hamstrung your partner.
When you're the world champion, PBA Player of the Year, you probably expect a little bit better than this, and it's just not happening, is it? Too much reaction to back end, leaves the 3-6-10 and the 4-7. It's a makeable spare, but Carl's got to be so accurate here.
Look a little.
Like that.
As you say, Nick, yeah, just like that. A great looking shot, a 5 spare. Just about saves the frame, doesn't it?
That is a fabulous shot from Troup.
I got you back.
To Europe off to a solid start. More to come after the break. Welcome back to the Weber Cup. It's the final day and this is session 4, a crucial one in which Europe are starting to apply the pressure. At the moment, Svensson and Williams lead Tackett and Troup. One more match left in this session which features Svensson and Tackett, but for the moment, both men must concentrate on the doubles. Commentary comes from Cass Edwards and Nick Hawley.
Kyle doing absolutely the right thing, keeping his partner loose. Tackett will get on line. Stuart Williams needs to get on line right here. That's a much better shot. Takes the 10.
These guys don't mind if that 10 pin's a little bit late, as long as it goes. As long as there's a messenger somewhere to tap it off, they're happy.
Well, they're smiling, but I wonder what's going through. Let's just have another look at this, as I'm wondering what's going on with EJ Tackett right now. Took its time, didn't it?
Well, it left a flat 10. You saw the 6 pin just stand in the gutter there with no action on it, but it just fell left and took the 10 pin.
Oh, he's not in the pocket, you know. I mean, he got a lot of pin action there just because of what he puts on that ball, but it was, again, not the shot that EJ would have been looking for.
This man has probably more revs on his ball than any single-handed player in the world. This man has many revs as any two-handed player in the world.
But the problem with Tackett being off his game right now, Kyle Troup has not had a full rack of pins to bowl at yet.
And that's part of Scotch doubles, unfortunately, yeah.
Settle in.
If one of your lead-off man's not striking, you can sit there and spare all day. Unfortunately, they haven't got all day. They've just got 10 short frames.
Well, this is where the Europeans have really got to make their move and jump.
Right, or just slow down. I don't know. Yeah, sure, that's
While Tackett is in a slump, you've got to make hay and capitalise, because he won't be there for long.
Give it time.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if EJ Tackett's next shot isn't a perfect pocket hit and all 10 gone. So the Europeans have got to grab whatever breathing room they can get for themselves. Let's see what the tall lefty can come up with here. Oh, well, look at what he left.
It's fortunate that at the moment that he doesn't have to take it. It's Stuart Williams, who's the right-hander, who will find it very easy, I'm sure.
You know, the problem for Svensson is he's up in singles play next, and he's going to be starting to worry if that 7 starts sticking around a little bit. That's going to be playing on his mind.
Well, the only good thing is that he can make a track for himself, a ball area, now, during this game, because he's the only guy out there.
As you say, for the right-handers, these should be automatic. So
It felt
Williams
like that was
does.
going to be closer than it was. It wasn't that.
Yeah, no fuss. Don't worry about it, Stu.
Oh.
Simple enough.
Right.
But all eyes now are on EJ Tackett because he has become the focal point of this match. He's off at the moment, and he needs to get on. It's not too late. Far from it. There is still plenty of time left in this match, but EJ Tackett desperately needs a pocket hit and 10 pins. Well, he got the pocket hit, but he didn't take the 10.
Yes, unfortunately he's suffering just a little bit at the moment, isn't he? Just cannot carry a strike for love nor money. There didn't seem very much wrong with that shot at all, did there?
Really nothing. It's just that's just bad luck. But as you know better than anybody, Cass, in Scotch doubles, when you're not striking, you feel like you're letting your teammate down. Now, Kyle Troup has done a great job of trying to keep EJ's morale high here.
But 4 spares in a row will not help the cause.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah, it was. They know. They don't need to be told. There was nothing wrong with that last shot.
You need some help.
Yep, they do indeed need some help. Now, is Svensson going to leave another one of those 7s in the corner? You kind of knew it, didn't you?
Oh, Nick Horning prediction, how about that?
It's unbelievable.
Well,
I mean, it is a really good shot. It's just unfortunate. What can you do? It's just one of those ways that, you know, the 4-pin just bounces around it.
He's just talking it over there with his teammate, and his compatriot. And a single pin 7 dealt with by Stu Williams, but both of these two guys, Svensson and Tackett, just finding life difficult at the moment. The difference between them is the quick start. 2 out of 3 strikes for the Europeans. That's it. But Tackett is so overdue now, it's ridiculous. Finally.
Good shot, we'll be fine.
Well, it was another good-looking shot, and this time it has carried all 10. It's going to give Carl Troup a chance to stand up and shoot for a full rack of pins, and that was just perfect. How about that?
Wasn't much different to the previous shot that had left the 10 standing. Well, that 10 pin stood no chance this time. Now it's the 7 pin we're interested in now, on the left-hand side for Svensson.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's going to help, how much of an adjustment, if at all, he's going to make.
Well, this is a worrying carryover from last night.
There you go! Come on!
Oh, now he can celebrate.
Get out!
The quiet man of the whole tournament just got, well, he almost exploded there, didn't he? I thought he was going to burst something.
Oh, that really was unexpected. But it shows what it meant to him as well. I mean, this 7 has been such a nuisance for him. And you look at a shot like that and you think, what's the problem? He hates that 7. He hates it. Look at his eyes.
I'm just wondering if that was in English or Swedish. I couldn't lip read it.
That was English.
Chance for Troup to shoot a strike. His first opportunity. And after all, that is just 15 pins difference in it.
Oh, it's wide open. It's all to play for.
Yeah, we're 6 frames down. Troup's shot another strike for the for the American side, 2 in a row. So he's quite happy. The only possible problem is it's bringing EJ Tackett back onto the strike shot.
Well, Williams hasn't had a strike shot for a little while. Let's see if he remembers where the pocket is. And first of all, he's got to just bring it back in.
Takes time, buddy.
My uncle said, "You're too heavy, that hurt."
Well, at least we know what the problem was.
Much of the truth spoken in jest.
Felt a twinge in the ankle as he was approaching. Yeah, with only 15 pins between them, every ball now is vital. And Williams has slowed it right down here, got himself ready, dialed in. What's he going to get? Takes all 10. That was a terrific response.
It was really the only response that the Europeans absolutely needed and could take. 2 strikes in a row. Hopefully going to extend that lead, depending on what EJ Tackett rolls on his next shot. But it's right in the 1-3 pocket. It carries all 10, sets up that brilliant chain reaction.
You heard Williams say it, 2 more strikes. That should be enough. Tackett needs a strike here, and his last one was absolutely beautiful. This next one is a little bit wide. He's worked so hard to get back in the pocket, and just as he's got there, he's lost his line again.
And it's unusual for Tackett. I mean, he really is one of the greatest bowlers in the world, and he's bowling on a freshly dressed lane.
So
he really is actually struggling now.
Even with 7 pins. It's okay.
I got you.
I'm gonna get another good one here.
Well, Troup's certainly getting a lot of spare ball practice.
You know what you're doing.
But the gap's growing.
Just a little twirl again.
He must have twirled a little.
Well, Tackett can't get down on himself. He's up next.
Didn't pick it. Yeah, never picked
Well,
up.
that's right, yeah, 28 pin difference on the score sheet there, as you can see. It's kind of looking good for the European squad, and Tackett's got some work to do. This could be the first of the 2 strikes that Stuart Williams has suggested would be enough for victory.
Well, you're not going to argue with him either. Let's look at that 7. It disappeared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stu Williams liked it. Jesper loved it.
Certainly more animated in the European camp, aren't they, than the Americans. Actually, Jesper threw that one a little bit wide left-hand side, but it managed to get back, carry all 10. A really important shot. Made it 3 strikes in a row.
Now, what comes next for EJ? We just don't know. He's walked away from that.
Well, that's the game over, because that's the 4-6 split, and that will be an open frame.
He knew the moment that left the fingers that it was a wrong one. Boy, he's had a tough, tough afternoon here.
I'm just wondering if there's an argument for him to perhaps cut down on his hook a bit and play a bit straighter.
Well, you've got to look at doing something different. I wonder if Sean Rash in the background there is wishing he could switch his lineup around, because EJ Tackett is going to go into singles play next in the worst possible mental frame, with his game all over the shop. Well, the 2 strikes that they needed, they don't need 2 anymore. And Williams can officially seal the deal here. Well, it looks, barring something extraordinary, that the European 3-point lead is going to be restored here with 1 to play. It means, oh, hang on, he's left it open as well. For goodness sake, he's saying to himself.
No, they're all right. It's a 4-9 split, and even if it's an open frame, they only need just a couple of pins.
You still don't like to see a 4-9 split at any point.
Yeah, be a bit nervous for that last shot. Come on, you can do it.
Well,
Certainly an easier spare for a left-hander to take.
He spent the 7 pin, I was going to have to spend the 6-8.
Well, he was so close. That was as close as a scrape of boarding house butter, that was, but it didn't just quite fall for him.
that was close.
Oh, that was really close.
It really was, look at that.
It would have covered the 7 pin, that's all I can say.
That was mean.
Yeah.
So they need 4 pins on the last frame for another European victory. EJ Tackett's got to find a strike line because he's up in the next singles match.
That helps. But for anyone who's counting, the Europeans just need 4 pins to confirm this one. And Williams just says, let's be greedy, let's take all 10, let's get back with a healthy lead, let's pull to within 4 points of retaining the Weber Cup, because that's where we are now. Europe on 15.
I noticed Stuart Williams' celebration was done right in front of the American captain, Sean Ratch, who's sitting on the side there.
Well, he's only had 2 full racks to bowl at, Kyle Troup, and he's taken all 10 both times. That is the story of that one. The real story, EJ Tackett just could not get online. Jesper Svensson was able to solve the riddle of that 7 in the corner. That was the difference. Europe back in front, and it forces huge pressure now on EJ Tackett, who's got to forget all about that. He's got to find a way to come back and beat Svensson in singles. Otherwise, this Weber Cup is going to be spiraling out of control for the USA. Europe in control here, 15-12.
The combination of Jesper Svensson and Stuart Williams proved more than enough for the Europeans to move one step nearer their target of 19. They were too strong for Tackett and Troup. It also leaves Tackett with the prospect of regrouping for their next match when he'll face Jesper Svensson, who along with Stuart Williams is talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Stu, you're really starting to stick the knife in a little bit this afternoon. Europe doing very, very well on the way back to that Weber Cup.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 sessions we're really starting to, like I keep telling the guys, we've got to impose our will upon them. You know, we got to keep just throwing good shots, putting them under pressure, and you know, there's no better man to bowl with when you want to put an opposition under pressure than Jesper. I mean, it's amazing. You know, he might not have struck as much, but I don't think he's missed the pocket the whole time. It's kind of crazy how many 9 counts he's had.
Well, Jesper, coming to you, were you starting to feel like that 7-pin was teasing you a little bit?
Well, you know, of course it's frustrating, but I feel confident that I can hit the pocket every time. So it's just a very small piece that need to get there to bowl almost a perfect game. So I'm gonna fight through it. So
EJ Tackett does not look to be on his game this afternoon. You must be fancying your chances of really securing a European lead going into this evening.
I'm just gonna try to do my own thing, bowl a good game, and whatever he bowls, I don't really care. I'm just gonna try to bowl my frames and score a good score.
Nothing seems to get to you, does it? Thanks very much.
There's a confidence in the European team as we return to the singles, and a man who proved himself in the last match, Jesper Svensson, is up against EJ Tackett of the USA. Let's head back to your commentators then, Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Yes, it's all really eyes on EJ Tackett, and how does he regroup and respond? Like any professional player in any sport at this level, they all have one thing in common: a short memory. When it goes well, you forget about it. If it goes badly, you forget about it. You move on, and that's what Tackett has got to do here. But it will be of some considerable concern to him that on this very same lane, and it's not been redressed, he was all over the place in that last match. He has got to get online and quickly, otherwise this man here could just blow him away.
Yeah, there's a difference in the strike percentages between the two, 58 for EJ and 62 for Jesper Svensson. But it's a whole new game. Let's forget what's gone on behind.
Well,
and he hasn't quite made the pocket on that
he
shot.
He hasn't. And that's going to start getting the doubts creeping into the back of his mind right there. Boy, did E.J. Tackett need a good, strong, convincing start to this match, and he hasn't got it. Really thin on the head pin.
Yeah, leaves the 4 and the 8 pin. He's just not getting the reaction off the back end on this lane, and hasn't been for most of the weekend.
And he's left an open. My goodness.
When it rains, it pours, and that's just the worst possible start for the reigning player of the year and PBA world champion.
Got what he deserved with that shot, it has to be said. It was way too thin. So, here's the rule in 10-pin. When your opponent leaves an open frame, you smack him in the face with a strike.
Not too dissimilar to that, Nick. Jesper Svensson right in the 1-2 pocket for the left-hander. The two-handed shovel shot carries all 10.
This really was a have some of that EJ strike, wasn't it? You're having a tough time, I'm having it easy.
Well, as we've said before, he's not actually playing against EJ, he's playing against the lane. He's left-hand side on his own, and if he can master that, which he normally does, he's going to have a big score.
Oh, poor old EJ, because there wasn't an awful lot wrong with that, but he doesn't take the 10.
A huge amount of revs and a huge angle into the pocket behind the head pin. Shoots that 6-pin straight round the 10. It's actually supposed to go straight onto that 10-pin and take it out, but it is the angle of entry in behind the head pin. Doesn't set up the 3-6-10 combination.
He'll spare it out. I'm sure there'll be no danger of that being missed, but it's not the start he wanted at all. And if Svensson can open up with a double, he'll already be staring down the barrel here, EJ, this early. I mean, that is the one saving grace. This has happened early. There is time for him still to recover, make a match of this.
But to do that, he's got to start striking, which is something he's struggling to do.
And even when he got back online in that doubles match, it didn't last. He lost the line again. Meanwhile, nobody, as you say, the left-hander, his oil pattern is not getting disturbed at all, and he has opened up with a double, so he knows exactly what the lane is doing.
A 32-pin lead after 2 frames. And that's quite a lot in this format. Great looking shot. He's covered the 7-pin. How about that?
Well, that shot basically leaves E.J. Tackett with absolutely nowhere to hide now. He's got to find the strike zone, and he's got to find it right here. Another frame might be too late. He's got to get it.
I think that was a ball change. I'm not 100% sure from where I'm sitting, but it's carried all 10 in the 3rd frame. So he's drawn a bit of blood and taken 30 pins. It's the sort of reaction he's been looking for quite a few games now. But it won't worry Svensson, who's locked and loaded, left-hand side of the lane, all on his own, all in his own little world, looking for a strike fest.
Well, that's a bit of a collector's item. It's a 10.
Yeah, slightly unusual there for Jesper. Fortunately, it's on the right-hand side of the lane, so he shouldn't have too much trouble getting across to spare it. Perhaps just a fraction high on the headpin, but so much power going in there. I think he sees the funny side of it, but he'll be disappointed at the same time.
Well, he won't see the funny side if he misses it. It is on the side of the lane that will favour the left-hander, but Jesper, it is safe to say, has not exactly dazzled us with his single pin sparing in this year's Weber Cup.
The only way not to miss single pins is not to leave them. And he's got it.
So a spare for the Swede. Now, if it's a double for E.J. Tackett, he is up and running. And there's still plenty of time to turn this one around. Taking a lot of time with this ball here. Then just drying the hand off as well. So no moisture there between fingertip and ball. Now, can he stay in the strike zone? That's gone wide. Ooh.
The look of frustration on his face. Now, he threw the ball and it went wide, so is it down to the lane? I don't think so. He did get caught up in some lane oil outside there. It's missed the down lane marker by at least 2 boards. He's fortunate to take out 9 pins. A spare is just not what he needed.
So the engine stalled straight away just as he got it started. Tackett stuck in neutral here.
Yeah, he kind of looked across there at some of his teammates, maybe looking for a bit of help. He can't get any help, he's on his own.
Meanwhile, just in the players' area, there is support for Svensson. Martin Larsson is out there, so too is Stu Williams. Just keeping a distance, he'll go to them if he needs them. And he might need them if that carries on.
Well, it can only be 19 pins if he spares that, but nothing lost, as EJ only got 19 as well.
That's frustrating though, because he really wanted to just blow this match wide open if he could, because Tackett, if he's on his game, is capable of going off the sheet here and striking out. And I know that sounds a bit far-fetched given his recent form, but he's good enough to do it, and you can't let a player like EJ Tackett hang around. It's still just a 21-pin game here. And Tackett, for all his problems, is still in it. And this is a dangerous guy to have on your tail.
Well, it certainly is, Nick. Yes, he's, as I say, he's one of the top players in the world. He's just having a bad time at the moment. Can't seem to get 2 strikes together. But he has the opportunity to start again.
Yeah, wasn't the best pocket hit he's ever had, but he won't care how all 10 pins go. He just wants them gone.
Welcome back to the Weber Cup, where the Europeans are making the most of the lane conditions to really apply the pressure to the Americans. Although Svensson is trailing Tackett in the early stages of this match, Europe looking for a 4-point advantage in the overall score. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Mean if Svensson here leaves a single pin, as he has done the last couple of frames, this one gets too close to call. So this has been a missed opportunity here for Svensson. Whatever happens from here, and he's got to put that right. Now it's the 7 pin, and this is not looking good.
Oh dear. To all intents and purposes, looked a rather a good shot for the left-hander in the 1-2 pocket. But the 4 pin didn't even touch the 7 pin.
And just remember, he's missed this not once, but twice. No such thing as an automatic 7 spare with this man, and he's just going over again. I think he got called over there. I think Stu Williams actually called him over to have a word. Well, that's an indication of the concern that they're feeling in the European camp, because that's 3 in a row, and it's brought Tackett right back into it. Just look at that, 3 9 spares. And if Tackett doubles up here, it really is game on.
It's
always possible to come back from early open frames. Stu Williams won, leaving the first 2 open. And Tackett is starting to build up a head of steam, and that's just gone. It's been evaporated right there. What on earth happened?
He's been totally baffled and beaten by this lane. He can't believe the reaction that his bowling ball is getting. In the back 15 feet of the lane, it's just turning left. He's left the 3, 6 and the 4 with the 7 pin. I mean, that's a makeable spare, but who wants a 6 spare?
Yeah, you summed it up. He's baffled. I mean, that body language says it all. He had no idea what's going on now.
I mean, there's no difference in the lane conditions here than he plays on in the PBA Tour. Maybe just a foot or 2 more of oil, but just snapping the back end away. And unfortunately, it's another open frame.
And just as he was starting to generate a bit of momentum as well, that's the real sickener for EJ here.
Well, it's given more hope back to Jesper Svensson, who was struggling on 3 spares. Another spare here, and he'll still be making pins. Yeah, I guess EJ's. We're fortunate that he's not mic'd up, because I'm sure he's got something to say about this lane and the way it's going for him.
Be interesting to hear what he says post-match. Jesper does take all 10. That just throws a bit of salt in the EJ Tackett gaping wound right there.
Yeah, another great shot from the left-hander. Flush on the head pin. Not flush on it, but flush pocket. High hit on the head pin, carries all 10.
Well, we are now officially in uncharted territory. I don't think any of us know what's going to happen with this next ball, and I would include EJ Tackett in that. This is a magical mystery tour right now, which is not what you want at this level. That didn't look like a particularly good pocket hit, and it's taken all 10. Oh, it's just bizarre what's going on here for EJ.
Interesting to see that the 9 pin was the last to go. I mean, that ball was buried deep in behind the head pin. There's so much movement. Whoa, look at that. No, it's high on the head pin, isn't it? It's
very high. It wasn't a good pocket hit at all.
No, you're right. On the slow-mo, you corrected me, yeah. And that's why the 9 pin was the last to go. The ball had actually cut through the 5 pin and missed the 9, and some floating wood around just took it out. So it made it 10, took the strike, but certainly not convincing, as you suggested.
That's why this game drives these guys mad. You bowl a bad ball and you take all 10. Or you bowl a good ball and you're left with a split. You just don't know what's coming at you. Meanwhile, Svensson has decided enough is enough. Let's just put this to bed. That forces Tackett now just to strike out off the sheet if he possibly can, and even that may not be enough.
Well, that's right, yeah, maximum score 235. 2 big open frames and a couple of spares, not good enough.
But who knows what's coming? Could be anything now. Pocket hit, all 10 taken. No celebration.
Yeah, it's total frustration for EJ Tackett. He knows his only chance is to go off and with another 2 strikes, which would make 4 in a row. But only a 2-3-5 would likely not be good enough.
You've got to feel a lot of sympathy for EJ, stuck in his chair. This has just been a bamboozling experience for him, nothing else.
And also a bit of a demolition job from Jesper Svensson, who is still looking pretty good. He hasn't missed the pocket yet. 4 strikes, 3 9 spares.
This has been very steady here from Svensson, and that pretty much wraps things up. This is going to be a commanding European lead that they'll take into the Sunday night session.
This point will make it 16-12 to Europe, and they will see the tape on the finishing line at position number 19. They'll be reaching out and almost be able to grab him.
Doesn't that just sum up his day?
But look at the action on the pins. That spinning around on the pin deck there. That ball has got so much rotation on it, and it hits just so hard, possibly too hard.
Sean Rash has got a problem, the American skipper, because EJ has had such a miserable time here. where do you put him in the order for Sunday night, bearing in mind that you can't afford to lose any points? Do you try and hide him away at the back end of the rotation?
In a word, yes.
Yeah, you just got to protect him as best you can. EJ so much better than what we've seen here, but nothing has gone right for him in this singles match.
I mean, I said at the start of the tournament, this is probably the strongest USA side that's come over on paper.
And that's the guy they were all talking about.
I was going to say, unfortunately, they're not playing on paper. They're playing on a 60 foot of a plastic bowling lane. One more.
Well, he needs a bit of spare practice, doesn't he?
Well, that's right, yeah. So he may as well leave up the 7-pin and shoot at that. But he's smiling because the game's over.
Well, let's just say the good news for Jesper is this is one 7-pin he can afford to miss. He won't want to, of course.
No, let's tie it up in frame 9. Let's not worry about the 10th frame. Hard and straight. That'll do nicely.
Yeah, he knows that's the moment. So do the rest of the crew.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's shut out EJ Tackett with a frame to go. But let the Barnsley crowd try and raise the morale of this man here.
It's just been awful for him today. It really has. It's nobody will be more mystified than EJ Tackett right there. Oh, it's been painful to watch, quite frankly, because he is so much better than this, but this lane has beaten him. Simple as that.
Well, this is it. Yeah, he's playing the lane, not the player, and you're quite right. He's just hasn't got to grips with it.
The less said about that, the better. EJ Tackett, in a must-win game for Team USA, has bowled an even 200. And the final act of this one, right here. What on earth is Sean Rash and the Americans going to say during the couple of hours that they've got off between now and the start of this last session? How are you going to get this man back on his feet? Well, 245, good enough, comfortable for Jesper Svensson. Europe now cruising towards the finish line. The avalanche of points continues. They win the session handily. They've opened up a huge gap now in this race to 19, and the Americans have to regroup, and they have to regroup quickly. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for them in that session. Europe up by 4, needing 3 to retain their Weber Cup.
Session 4 closes of the Weber Cup, and Europe find themselves just 3 away from the outright win. 5 wins out of 7 in this session, the last 2 involving Jesper Svensson. It now leaves them just 3 points away from the outright win in the 18th edition of the Weber Cup.